for, but still something was missing. What? I didn't know. That's when I saw him. So smooth, so carefree. He was real, I thought. He could make me real. When I saw you, when you were cruising in your car, well, I was down, I was lost and insecure. It's magical, he found me, summer breeze bringing a change of fate. He came by to ask me for a ride with him. Reality reminds me it could just be another drag. Miracles don't happen every day, you see. My days were changing. Excitements I didn't expect. I never knew riding with you could bring so much wonder. Everything a surprise. Your beautiful machine never slows, never stops. This was real, I knew. My life was turning real. You have no clue how long I've waited for this time. Life was a bore till you pulled me out of bed. Mysterious as we ride, I foresee we will never stop till we get to somewhere unexplored someday. It's destiny that we met. It's a thrill I was looking for. No one else could lighten up my heart this way. Delirious, hypnotic, drips and curves, all new tricks for me. Driving shows me wonders never seen before. So endlessly, seas move on. City lights shift to starry skies, sandy beach and forest. I can't wait for more. When I saw you, when you were cruising in your car, well, I was down, I was lost and insecure. It's magical you found me, summer breeze bringing a change of fate. You came by to ask me for a ride with you. It's destiny that we met. It's a thrill I was looking for. No one else could lighten up my heart this way.
Oh, hi there. Hi, hello. It's Thursday. Okay. if I seem frustrated, it's because I'm looking for something. And I can't find it, and it's frustrating, and it's annoying. Today is the day I am a viral blue sky sensation, Alien Bob. Christ. Where would it be? Hold on just a sec. I have so many extra hard disks. True Crime Streets of LA, PC edition, CD-ROM, 4 discs, apparently with PC exclusive multiplayer. I had this on GameCube. I bought it in Puerto Rico at a GameStop. There's too much crap and it's poorly organized. Here. For some reason, it's stuffed all the way in here. Mario and Luigi Brothership pins. Here's my keyboard. I can type on this, you know. It's very clicky. I don't know if you can hear that. Hold on. Can you hear this? Oh, yeah. The biggest problem with this is I got switches that were a little too heavy. No, it's not in there. Anyway, okay, so... How you doing, Disty? Last week, I played around a little bit with the Creative Zen Micro. Light up, light up. Oh, look at that, track 1 and whatever. And it made me think, well, one other thing in the game that I want to base on something real is the wristwatch. And I want to base that on an old Casio. And I realized I have an old Casio. Well, this isn't super old. This is the 8640W. Oh, what's cool about it is it's inverted. Come on, focus. Come on, you can focus. Look, there's a light. It's inverted, so it's fully black, which is really cool. But I was like looking through this and I was like, yeah. So the classic Casio is the F91W. I think that's a little too on the nose. So I'm basing it on an older model, but they're basically still the same, right? So I was like kind of looking at the button layout and all stuff. And then I was realizing I had older gadgets. And I brought out the Walkman phone before, the accidentally curved Walkman phone. Which doesn't have a headphone jack, right? It has the proprietary port on the side, not the bottom. That's its biggest flaw. So then I got this Walkman, which does have a headphone jack. It also has a proprietary charging and sync port, and I don't know if I have the cable for that still. I have this e-paper Sony smartwatch. This is like from before the iPhone Watch days, the Apple Watch days. This is pretty nifty as like a notification device. This was given to me by someone who worked at the airport and found it in the Lost and Found. And then there's some old phones. This is an old HTC something. Doesn't really say what. No. But this is like end of the HTC era. Whereas this is more from the beginning of the HTC era. This is the HTC Dream? Is that what this one's called? Or G1 or something? This was Mrs. Bob's phone, which is pretty neat. Has buttons. That's like a little... I think there was like an official Google one that was the Nexus one, that this was a little ball. But this is just a regular HTC version. But buttons? Sick. And then I have a few of my old phones. This is my Nexus something. This is the LG one. With a cool kind of like glistening glass back. But the problem with glass backs is, you know, it do what glass do. I don't know if this works still. One that doesn't work. This puppy. This was the Huawei one. I forget what it was called. This one was this one was very good. This one also had a great camera. And apparently gets stuck in a boot loop. And that's the problem with this one. I can't use it anymore. I can't even use it as a camera. I wanted to use it as a stream camera at some point. But it just stuck in a boot loop. Completely fucked. But what I really wanted to look at... Where's all this going? Nexus 4. I have it written on the box. An HTC Desire. What a beautiful name for a phone. Or a baby girl. What I really was after was something that might still be of use to me. That I was hoping might still be of use to me. Let me just put away some of this shit. Do you fit in there? Oh, actually, I forgot one. This was Mrs. Bob's phone. A Nokia N73. Pretty sick, look. Hold on. Whoa! Camera's so good it has to be hidden behind a little plastic cover. Still no headphone jack, though. Remember when they had, like, little shutter buttons? This is a really neat phone. This would almost be classified as a smartphone, I think. But that's not what I'm after. What I'm after is a different thing entirely that I will get to once I puzzle this shit back into its boxes. No, some of these were not in the box. Hold on. All these volatile batteries sitting in a drawer just above all my valuable papers. Yeah, you're good. I'll put you all away properly tomorrow. It's this. The Olympus Stylus Verve. Check that shit out. This I got as a present just before leaving Aruba. And it was, you know, my phone had a camera, but it was shit. And what's neat is it came with a little charger, with a little battery. Now, it's a US plug, but I don't know if you can see that there. AC 100 to 240, 50-60 hertz. So I was able to charge this tiny little baby battery that is... How much is it? Shadow is blocking it. 645 milliamp hours. Now there's a port of some kind there. I don't know if I have that cable, whatever that is. This is a shame. But the other problem is this is Olympus, right? This is from the time when there were a bunch of proprietary memory cards, right? Sony had the memory stick. Olympus had what are they called, XD cards, and it's not in here. It's not in here, and I know somewhere in this godforsaken house, I have a little box with a bunch of old memory cards. And I thought I found it, and they weren't in there. So I put them somewhere else, and I have no fucking clue where. And I can't. It's frustrating. Because then I'll need to get one. If I can get this to work. Oh, shit. Oh, sweet. I have a little, I have some fresh notebooks here. I just, I thought I could find it, but I can't find it. So, because I thought, wouldn't it be cool to use this for a video or something? Wouldn't that be neat? I might have the cable. Do I have something that can read XD cards anyway? That's another question. But let's put the battery in. Let's put the battery in and see if that makes a difference. Not makes a difference. See if that leads to something. You know what's funny? Three pads, right? Here, 3 prongs. One for no, plus negative, right? And so voltage, ground, whatever, and maybe temperature sensing. But inside the, I was gonna call it a phone. Inside the camera itself, can you see? Just 2 prongs. So if the battery blows up in there, and I looked too, there's no swelling. There's no swelling. Let's see if it turns on. Hey! Sick. No card. It's too bad. Look at that. Oh, it looks cool though, doesn't it? Hello. Check out this high resolution display. Also, let me see. This is cool. Wait. I would just play with this. I could just play with it. Yeah, but it's still good. Quick view. Oh, the battery still works. Oh, this is funny too. Look, the frame rate's all shitty in camera mode, and if I put it on video mode, how smooth it gets now. But like, zoom. Yeah, look at that. Look at that real zoom. Hold on. Oh man. Do I know? No, I don't. Let's see if we can check that out. That's cool too. It's a two-stage thing. Oh, that's macro mode. Okay. Is this true? Is this real? Scene? No. That's flash. There is flash. White balance. Oh, I had it. I had it somewhere. Mode menu. ISO. Card. No, this is just the menu. Hold on. I think I got the resolution somewhere, but now I'm missing the. I'm lacking. I'm lacking the button. Isn't that perfect? High quality, 320 by 480. God, that would look great. It totally fries. Let me see if I have the cable. I don't think this is micro USB, because sometimes those plugs do look weird. No, it's not micro USB. This would be amazing on a 4K monitor. Okay, so it's my box of shame. This is my organized box of cables. It might be in here. Get the video cables out. Micro SD will probably be black, right? I'm just glad that it works. I don't know how long the battery lasts. That's another thing. If I can find that card, if not, I'll have to scope one. I'm sure they still sell them. Oh, is this it? This is either it or this is no, this could be it. I think this is it. Nice. Does this charge? That would be convenient too. Or if it stays charged. Okay. Huh? It's connected. PC, print, exit. PC, one moment. It closed. So that means I can't use it as like a video out. But I wonder if there's hacks. Wouldn't that be neat? Let me try to get these cables back in. Just where the fuck are my cards? That's my question. Oh, why can you put you guys back in too, actually? Does it show up as a drive? It shows up as a USB drive. But there's no storage. So... Right, so it shows up as a USB drive, but there's no storage. It has to be in one of these drawers. I swear. It has to be. I kind of cleaned them up somewhat recently. Like, here's my HDMI to DisplayPort adapters and shit. Look at this. Is this? Yeah, this is DisplayPort to HDMI and back again. I have here. There it fits. USB dongles and converters. Oh, I have a mini USB here too. A couple. That should be in there then, actually. No, but it's not in here. Batteries, Screwdrivers. Glue sticks. Where are you? Oh, you're super glue. This isn't the plan for today, by the way. We'll be in Godot soon enough. Am I like on the right category? Yeah. Like here. This is a tin for a G-Shock watch. Coins, memory cards, passes. Okay. There's coins. Right? There's some Danish stuff in here. There's American and Ruben stuff. Here's passes. Old school passes and old bank cards and shit. Look. University of Utrecht. There's a young Bob at the University of Amsterdam. He was youngest possible Bob at the Utrecht School of the Arts. And the same exact young Bob, a Ruben ID card. Just so you know, I'm legit. But no memory. Or memories. Not in here, in some other... Did it slip in here? Nope. Ruben coins. It's just like, I just don't know where it would be. I'm like thinking, is it somewhere with all the Atari stuff? But there's no reason for it to be. SD cards. I had to pull out SD cards to use for the Wii U. But like... And obviously, I would not have thrown it out. Because this doesn't look like someone who throws stuff out, right? I just don't know. What do XD cards cost? Let me check Amazon real quick. XD card. God, these are all very sketch listings. Yeah, 50 euros for 64 megabytes. Micro SD to XD adapter. You also look micro SD to XD adapter, but this looks sketch as hell. I don't even know where you would put it. That's the X. Okay, there, like that. It's $5. Okay, so that's an option. I forgot to put this one back. Oh God. Cables. Printed. It looks, because this would be really small. It does not look 3D printed to me, because this would be this big. I don't see the layer lines. It would be extremely cheap shit plastic. But my question then is, like, what I use it for? Okay. I use it to record shit video. My question now is, look, hold on. Olympus stylus verve video out. Mod. Got the camera from the University of Benghazi. Okay. We got the PDF of the manual from the University of Benghazi. It's not loading anyway. Streaming video. I don't think this is gonna have I don't think this is gonna have video out. Can I use the adapter? Oh, this is just the adapter. Yeah, this is that same adapter, right? I'm just wondering if it'll work. They only work... See here, I'm saving money. They only work with a handful of later Olympus cameras. They do not work at all in 99% of XD cameras. Oh no! The lens mechanism can become sticky with age. That's not a problem for me. But I do wonder if this charges. What happens if I take the battery out and I plug it in? Thank you. No, I don't think it gets power. I can't use it as a webcam. Maybe that's what I have to search for. Use as webcam. Card cover open. Yeah, no shit. Print. No card. So, a potential thing, of course, is to do this, right? Is to just put it on... No, I don't have a card. The problem is, without a card, it's gonna say no card. Which also sucks. Format, color, file name, pixel mapping, video out. It says video out. Video out would probably be analog video, right? Olympus stylus verve, video out cable. It just has a cable. There's no video out cable. really need to find that XD card now. Otherwise, this is all for naught. Let me see. Let me see if Vinted has the CF cards I was looking up on Vinted were rather expensive. XD card. $20 for 128 megabytes. 35 for 512. No, that's all way out of my price range. I'd have to get lucky with someone selling something they don't know. Where is it? No idea where it would be, but that's where this adventure ends for now. Here, let's have one more look at it turning on and how cool that looks. Wow, wowie zowie, amazing. And back in she goes. I'll keep her around. I gotta find that damn XD card. But she's useless to me now. I'm pretty sure the XD card is 32 megabytes. So it's not like I can film hours of stuff on there, but it would be fun. Let me just add it to my to-do list. Your goddamn XD card, bitch. That made me all hot and bothered, and now I have a headache. Hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna get. Hold on. I might have them in here. Memory cards. Memory cards. Okay. So there's multiple things I want to do today. Are we gonna keep it breezy? Because I have not been in the greatest of moods these last couple of days, and that means I need to take my mental state into account. That's what you do when you're an adult human being. You try to be gentle on yourself. I'm like looking at my desk as if this is where it would be. In here, I have an SD card in here. It used to be in here a long time ago. Then I decided to clean up and I ruined everything. Oh shit. I have a 16 gig SD card in here. So if I have the SD cards here, then... Yeah, well, when would you ever need an XD card, Bob? 25 years later, that's when. The thing is, if it's not in that designated memory card spot, then I wouldn't even know where I would have put it. I'm gonna need you guys over there. Over here. Alright, so the plan today, as far as there is a plan. Okay, I wrote it down. I need to understand Godot's signals better. Because I figured out that I'm not gonna make much progress on anything if I don't figure out how those little motherfuckers work. And I don't really understand what I'm doing. Which is an issue when you're trying to create an extremely complex and comprehensive video game. The other thing is, the other things I want to do is, I have a couple of links of stuff. Some of them might be related, actually. I have a couple of links of things that I want to go through. Maybe we'll do that first to kind of get into it. Composition. Event bus. First person raycast interaction. So what event bus?
Hey, Nathan speaking.
This is a little
is the
old,
first
but
video on the channel by Resvan. It is an intermediate level tutorial about signals and using an event bus system, a pattern to decouple code. If you're a beginner with signals, you'll want to check our beginner-friendly tutorial, link in the description below. But without further ado, I'll leave you in Resvan's hands. Enjoy!
The observer pattern is such a central workflow tool for developing games in Godot that everyone should have a basic understanding of it. We'll start by looking at managing signals through code because it makes understanding the user interface method much easier. Let me introduce you to the demo I prepared. There's only one action that the player can take, and that is to attack the dummy on the right hand side. The player is triggered via keyboard or mouse input, and it includes a call to a function that emits the attacked signal. The event is captured by the dummy node, which reacts with its own animation that triggers the damaged signal. The signal is in turn connected to the player user interface system, which reacts by increasing the experience level. We can see all of this happening in the bottom panel graphically. Every type of node comes with predefined signals, which can be viewed in the node panel near the inspector in the default view under the Signals tab. The node panel also lists custom signals which have to be defined in script. So let's open the player script and take a look at the anatomy of a signal, which is very simple. The declaration starts with a signal keyword followed by the name of the signal, followed by an optional list of comma separated values or parameters that are to be sent to the function that
what did I need this for? I needed this for the sitting. Last time I was trying to figure out how to sit. And I got there a little bit in pseudocode, but I didn't get it completely. Did I have code for chair? No, because I had it, it's in the player. And I'm not sure if it should be. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one.
connects to the signal. And this looks very much like a function call. The only difference is that when we don't have anything to send to the functions, we can omit the parentheses in the signal declaration altogether. And the node panel updates according to the changes we made in the script here. We're going back.
All right, let me just take a look at what my pseudocode here. Use body. If state is not sitting, and if item looked at is body usable, and body usable type is seat. Set state to sitting, get in the coordinates. Right, so the seat, the chair has an interaction component which the interaction component has body usable type and whether or not it is a body usable. And I can just set those so it knows. So presumably that doesn't mean the parent knows. I think what I'll need to do, I think I need to remove this. This needs to go to a separate seat component. Let me just make that real quick. Attach script seat component class name seat component, and then copy those over. Because the interaction component, all our interaction component does is do that shit, right? So the seat component needs to be modeled after door component. Model after door component. Door component is here. Door component has enums and settings and whatever. And then I can do stuff. Don't know if I need these. Parent connect, interacted callable, func, check seat, void, pass. Because what does a door component do? The door component, once it's interacted with, check what door it is, and then we'll open and whatever. But the seat doesn't get sat on. Parent is not all right. I need to in ready. I need to parent get parent and connect the parent. I need to define parent. Var parent ready connect, and I need to do the connect parent thing. Yeah. All right, so that's fine. I need to draw this out. Let's continue the video.
As a side note, at GTQuest we have coding guidelines, and in accordance to those, I named the signals
Enjoy your dinner, Disney.
using verb at past tense because we're talking about an action that we react to. In the player example, we see that the signal is emitted in the attack function, which is called via the animation player, but this is a topic for a different tutorial.
So okay, what we can do, I think I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to believe. So on interaction, this puppy sends a signal containing usable body type and markers. I don't need body usable anymore. Once the parent, which is chair, which has the interaction component set to it, once it sends the interacted signal, right? That means it sends the interacted signal, and it sends the interacted signal to this catches that signal. Like, because signals are spread, I believe it's the observer pattern, right? So this is the observer. This is the part that's looking. This is the part that's like, hey, when interacted triggers on the parent, call this this function. So in here, I need to send a signal that contains all the necessary variables, and then in player character I need to I do need to emit the signal. Yes, I do need to emit the signal. Yeah. And then I need to, this needs to listen. Oh shit. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
What we see here is that the emit signal function takes the signal.
Emit signal. Signal attacked. Damage. So seed component, emit a signal. I need to use the right terminology. And then the character, sorry, the character needs to I emit the signal interacted. Hold on, print. This is, sorry, string. Sitting baby. Right, if I use this, that's not working, but that emits the signal. Okay. That doesn't emit the signal, but it. What if on seat component now we say sitting baby instead? Yes. Okay. Okay. Little by little.
Name as a string followed by the optional variables defined when declaring the signal. So in this case, the damage that the player sends.
So I think instead, what I do here now is instead of all this happening on use body, put it in a sitting func and listen for the connect parent. Message bus. Is there connect? Is there connect signal here? No, right? Okay, we need to figure out this message bus stuff. Listen for the signal from the seat component which has the relevant data.
Depends on attack.
This is the problem too when I'm doing tutorials from multiple sources, because I'm obviously kind of synthesizing them together to work for my game. That means I'm using different coding paradigms and different patterns and different ways of thinking, and they don't all interlink, and I need to understand. That's why I'm building this as a prototype first. I need to understand the foundation that I build upon.
The dummy node defines the on-player attack method that receives the damage when the player attacks. It also defines the damage signal, which sends an experience value to react to. In the player example, we see that the signal is emitted in the attack function, which is called via the animation player, but this is a topic for a different tutorial. What we see here is that the emit signal function takes the signal name as a string followed by the optional variables defined when declaring the signal. So in this case, the damage that the player sends on attack. The dummy node defines the on-player attack method that receives the damage when the player attacks. It also defines the damage signal, which sends an experience value, and this signal is emitted during the reaction animation of the dummy, just as in the case of the player attack animation. It's emitted in the damaged function. And this signal is then caught in the player user interface in the onDummy damaged method, which
Where is it caught?
increases the experience level. The player, just as in the case of the player attack animation, it's emitted in the damaged function. And this signal is then caught in the player user interface in the onDummy damaged method, which increases the experience level of the player. These connections between different parts of the scene tree are orchestrated by the root node, in our case the signals script in the ready function. The connect function that connects the signal to a method in a particular object can be more complicated than this. Here we see that we call it on the object that defines the signal. It takes the signal as the first parameter, then the target node that defines the function to be called when the signal gets triggered, then the name of that function. But since this can be more complicated, let's take a look at the documentation. And the first thing to note is that the connect method is an object method rather than a node method. This means that in code we can connect signals to other objects as well, not just nodes. So it's more flexible in this regard than the editor user interface way of connecting signals, because via user interface we can only connect to other nodes. At connection time we can also define extra parameters to be sent to the method to which the signal is connecting. These parameters are given as an array, the binds parameter, and this can be viewed as constants to be passed in the method each time the signal is emitted, no matter if the signal sends in variable data or not at the time of emission. The flex parameter is explained through the connect constants, so let's quickly go through them. Defer means that Godot stores the signal emission in a queue which is resolved on idle time, and this becomes important in advanced setups that take advantage of multi-threading and so on. Persist means that if we want to save the object to disk, we can recover the object on load with connections intact. One shot is very well summarized here. It forces the signal to disconnect after the first emission, while the last option isn't documented, reference counted, but my understanding is that it lets us connect the same signal to the same function multiple times without getting an error, which happens by default in Godot. One thing you'll notice is that because we have to manually register signals to call functions through the connect method, this creates dependencies, so we need to be careful how to do it. For example, if we switch to the player script, we could have connected the attacked signal to the dummy on player attacked method inside of the player script itself. But this creates a tight coupling between the dummy and the player nodes, and we want to avoid that. So I'm going to remove this. And instead we're going to delegate this functionality to the signals parent node in this case. It's worthwhile noting that delegating connection definitions to the parent nodes does fragment the code a bit, and in very complex games it can be difficult to track all of these connections because we use the connect function in other nodes rather than the one
message bus. Message bus here just defines signals. I think I have another one on the message bus, event bus, whatever. It's the same thing.
that need them in other scripts. So in this case, the parent nodes, but they can be multiple levels above as well. So in complex games, so it's rather difficult to keep in code track of all of these connections. So
but you have
as
this
an alternative, I've prepared this other example, a singletons driven example, where if we go to the project settings under the autoload tab, we can see that there's this events singleton defined over here, and you can disregard the utilities singleton. That's not relevant for this example. So let's open up the event singleton
sweet potato fries
to see what it's all about. It only defines the signals that we need in our game, and that's pretty much it. So how do we use this?
So okay. Seat component. Define signals in message bus. I need to understand how this works. It makes sense. Like, I don't have a programmer brain. I've always struggled with this. And when I first discovered Godot like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, this makes more sense to me than anything else I've played with, including Unity. But I still don't get it.
If we open the dummy as an example, because this also connects to a signal and this also emits a signal, we can see that in this example, we use the player attacked signal and connect it to onPlayerAttacked function, which is defined in this very script as well, through the event singleton. And we also use the event singleton, obviously, to emit the necessary signals. So this basically enables us to localize the connections and the emissions as necessary in the scripts that need it, instead of delegating this task to the parent nodes. So as you can see in the scene tree panel, the signals doesn't have a script attached to it.
Listy, have I ever mentioned to you how much I appreciate your constant presence? It's a big deal. And I'm really grateful.
Any longer, because it's not necessary. That was there only to do the gluing between different parts of our game in the previous example. And we can see that the demo functions exactly as before. There's nothing changed in
That's
the
okay.
actual
It's okay, Disty,
game.
because the coding is the boring part. I just need to get through it. My hair just feels like shit. I washed it this morning. It's all dry. I should have put something in it. You know, I get bored from the coding and shit too. I just want to get some fundamentals done. And part of prototype 2 is starting to design the map and stuff. But if I could just walk around, do some basic interaction, and then like make the basic building blocks of the game, then much of the rest of the game is just kind of stacking that on top of each other. And you know, like I'm thinking about all these things at the same time because of the ADHD. But like visual style, sounds, and I actually this morning I was I was honestly, genuinely on the verge of tears because of the state of my life. And in the middle of that, you know, the brain do what it does. It came up with what I think might be the title of the game, which is not something I was thinking about actively. I have like a little list with candidates that I'm not happy about, but you know, it's better to keep them around and stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just came to me. And I wrote it down, and I'm not going to reveal it yet because I want to have something to show before it gets that far. You know, it's for the time being. This is Aruba Untitled Adventure, but in my head, I have a title that I think I like. I just need to sit on it for a much longer time because maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and think that was a stupid title. Why would you ever call anything that? But I'm kind of excited about it. Do I actually have any notes that I didn't transcribe yet? Yes, I had learnings. Interactables, when it's all in one node, seen as easy, but there will be lots of cases where signals may be much better. Become a Godot signals master. This is exactly the kind of game that will need signals, okay? Signals to citrus, sitting for vehicle, picking up non-buildables. I had the thought too, actually. I need to figure out how to use items. Yeah, what about using items on items / interactive elements other than keys? Like use empty water bottle on trash can or some shit. Okay.
Gameplay. It's only that the implementation differs. So there's one downside though of this approach, and that is that we don't have the visual feedback in the nodes panel any longer because we don't define the signals. So for example, if we open up the player script, we don't have the signals defined any longer. They're defined in the events singleton, and that's it. But the event singleton isn't a node in the scene tree panel, which we can explore in Godot in the user interface. So there's pros and cons of these approaches, and it's up to you, based on your style and needs, to use them. Yet another way of managing signals in Godot is using the editor user interface directly, so visually. And a clear advantage of this is that we have visual feedback in the scene tree panel, and we have detailed information in the node panel about the connections that we have defined. And to explore this further, I'm going to open the attacked. I'm going to double click the attacked signal defined in the player script to be presented with this modal dialog, where in the left hand side we have this clone of the scene tree panel view, and the node that defines the signal is highlighted in red, while the node to connect to is highlighted with this band. And we can see in the bottom part.
Okay. Moving forward. So that is. Wait, which one was that? Was that event bus? Yes. Okay. Composition.
So one of the biggest pitfalls that developers run into in attempting to scale their projects is that they don't encapsulate their functionality that's similar across multiple objects into reusable components. So take this enemy lich for example. Nothing happens when I strike it because I haven't implemented taking damage yet. Also, I know it looks the same as my player. We have an artist, we just haven't gotten around to it. Now, a developer may think they should just attach a script to the lich root node and begin coding up what happens when the lich takes damage. Then the player object, which identifies a collision, might call the take damage function, which could do all sorts of cool stuff that you tell it to do. You could add floating numbers or red flash or cool death effects, stuff.
I think. Hold on. This makes me realize too. The chair needs to be a. Thank you, Disty. I was leaving that one for you on purpose, just so you could sharpen the sword a little bit. The chair should have the script attached, right? The chair, it's the seat, should be so this can go delete. The chair at attach script. Shit. Where is seat component? It's here. Well, one, the chair should not be a CSG node. The chair should be like an area. Or a node 3D. Let's try to make it an area 3D. And that needs a collider, right? Okay, fair. That needs a collision shape 3D. Please make it scale uniform and change the size and children collision shapes instead. That's fine. Add a child node collision shape 3D. Right, and then this needs a shape. We just make it a box, and it's the perfect size already. And then the interaction component is on this, and then this is a seat. Let's see if this works. Oh, because it doesn't have, does it have the right context? Yes. Collision. Yeah, no, I'm not so sure. Oh, I need an air. This is an area 3D node. That's what I need. Because like this door, for instance. This door has a collision shape 3D. Door component with a collision shape 3. Yeah, so that's an area 3D node. Interaction component. It has a context. It says chair. This has a collision shape 3D. that is enabled. Ray pickable. If true, this object is pickable. A pickable object can detect the mouse pointer entering, leaving, and if the mouse is inside it, report input events. Requires at least one collision layer to be set. So why isn't it working? That's the question. You work. Why do you still have hand interaction component? Yeah, that's wrong. House. Do I need to have a setting state? Yes. The setting has two purposes. It has three purposes, but like two actual important gameplay purposes. One is you need to be able to sit in a car, in a vehicle. So I need to figure out how to do this anyway so that you can sit in the vehicle's car. Two, the player will have stamina and like heat and that kind of stuff, and sitting is one way to like make those meters go down. The third, kind of less gameplay important, but very, very vibes important, is sometimes you just want to sit down somewhere and look at the messages on your phone or browse through your MP3 player. Door has interaction component and a door component. The interaction component has the context, so that's it. Animatable body, door mesh, collision shape. I don't even need it to be I don't think I need it to be an area 3D. I think area 3D is wrong. Let's just call it a node 3D. All right, node 3D called seat 2, whatever. Interaction component. And the chair is in there. The chair doesn't need to be in there, doesn't matter, but that's fine. Collision shape. Collision shape only serves to provide a shape to okay. So it needs to be a rigid body, soft body, character body, animatable body, static body 3D. Rigid body 3D. Collision shape 3D. Static body 3D could be it. Static body 3D. Physics body can't be moved by external forces. When moved manually, it doesn't affect. Oh, okay, so static body is perfect. Give it a collision shape, give it the interaction component, give it the chair mesh, or CSG, whatever. Let's see if this works. It does, it does, and it works the way I want it to work. AKA, even if it's not hitting the model. Okay, call that seat. right? And we attach the script of seat component to it. Yes. And then we should find it here as seat component. Isn't that neat? That's not correct though. I should define it. Extends, sorry. Seat component extends static body 3D. Yeah. So if we do seat component now, well, it's not, maybe I need to reset or save or something. Seat component. Yep. There it is. Oop, there it is. Godot. Godot. Class name include Godot define node include children. Okay, I don't know. Okay.
Stuff like that. And it might work out great for the Lich. The problem is when you go to code up your next enemy, the green slime. Now, you'll likely be copy-pasting a large portion of the code you wrote for your Lich. You'll probably have some nodes like a progress
It's
bar.
simple. It's simple. Like it's basically. I think you can imagine this, Disty. Like, I have all these things that have little pieces of code attached to them, and say the game, the main map that I would make for the minimum viable product, right? That main area that I designed has in total 20 chairs or seats of some kind, right? Different models. A chair in front of the store, a comfy chair in the house, a bench. You can sit on a rock under a tree. You know, just imagine that. I could write some code, and I want the code to work the same on every single seat, so that I can just plop a model of a chair into the world, attach that script, and add whatever variables I need, and then it's done. Instead of having to copy paste code. If I copy paste code, it's like I don't know what it's like. I can't come up with a good metaphor, but it's just like I build these sections out so that I can place them like blocks. So if I define how sitting works now, then in future prototypes I can refine that, and then basically creating a new seat. I don't have to do any coding anymore. I don't even have to copy paste code. I make a model of the chair if it's a unique chair. I place that into the world. I attach the scripts. I tell the script where the character will need to sit and look at when hitting sit, and then that's it. Done. I could potentially even make it so that because the seat has all that information in it, it could even send it to an NPC. An NPC. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, because that seems a little more like advanced for the kind of like, you know, like in the end, what I'm making will have the jank, and it won't look as bad, hopefully, but it will have the kind of like one person can do attitude of a My Summer Car. But you know, an NPC could look at a seat and decide I'm going to sit on there, and that seat already has all the information needed for the NPC to know how to sit on it, what animation to play, and where to position itself. And then I don't have to do any extra coding. So that's kind of where I'm working on with that.
that shows damage taken, and you'll have to move those things over as well. Now, that might not have been too painful, but now you want to create a damageable pile of debris. You don't need a progress bar, and instead of health, maybe you just want it to take 3 hits. And maybe you don't want that sweet burn away shader you created for your Lich. Maybe you want it to do something different on death. Maybe your next enemy respawns one time after a few seconds on death. And then your project completely fails, because you decided to just change a core aspect of taking damage, but there are like 7 different versions of the code across 24 enemy scenes, and you're just too overwhelmed. So, what is the solution? Composition. Composition means putting the similar code and reusable components with functionality that spans all of your use cases. So instead of writing a take damage function on the Lich, I'm going to create our take damage component, and I'll call it take damage handler. I should mention that I've already written the code, and I'm just going to copy paste it over. So this video is as short and to the point as possible. So you'll want to pause if you'd like to implement the code like I do. Now, I'm going to start by creating a quick class called damageable stats that extends resource. Our component is going to have a copy of this, and since we're making all of these values at export, we'll be able to modify them easily when we instantiate our component. My game will probably have like 30 modifiable stats here, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to have starting health and defense.
Look, just so that you know what you're looking at, often, because like a lot of these colors and stuff, it's scary. But it's actually super simple, right? So we have this line. Gonna zoom in on it. Gonna have a zoom in on it. This line starts with at export. At export, all at export means for what is this? This is for the interaction component, right? So that's this. All at export means is that I make that value visible here in the engine so that I can change it, right? I can export means export tells the engine, hey, put that thing here. So if I say at export var distinguish this, right? That's all I need to do. Oh, it wants a. Oh, it needs a. Okay, cool. Right, then it appears there. Distinguish this. Var means I'm declaring a variable, right? Variable is a word that represents a chunk of data, right? So in this case, it and then here colon bool, that means this variable is of the type Boolean, which just means yes or no. If I say this is a string, then you'll see here, instead of having a little checkbox, I can type in what that is. And there's all the types, numbers, and all kinds of shit, right? It can get really complicated. And then equals is I'm setting it to a default, and the default is cool. Now again here, the default is cool. That's all this is. Export is like, it looks scary, but it's just a thing for in the engine while you're working on things that you can change them without having to change the script. Var just says this is a variable, distinguish this is the name, then there's the type, and then there's what's in it. That's all that is. So it looks scary, but it's you know, a lot of people say like, oh, code is math, but like code is still just a language. You're telling the computer exactly what to do.
Now we're going to create the take damage handler scene. We could add tons of cool functionality here, but I'm going to start with a simple health bar effect instead of floating numbers. I'm going to give this node a child control called progress bar container, which will contain our health progress bars. It will determine the size and position of our progress bars, and it will contain 3 children that are anchored to the control. Our backmost bar will be black and represent missing health, the foremost will be red and represent our current health, and the white bar will be used for a cool tweening effect. So now that our scene tree is complete, we're going to make the script that does everything that we want it to do.
Oh, of course, it needs to be a scene. Save branch a scene. New folder. Component. Scenes. Sorry. Go to scenes, and then in scenes we do components. We call this seat. Seat scene. No. Oh, maybe, yeah. That's fine. I need to zero this shit. Why do you look like this? You still work the way I want you to? Yes, you do. Okay. What's freaking out here? Node 3D. Definitely a connect non-existent signal interacted and callable static body seat component check seat. Attempt to connect non-existent signal interacted. Why do you say that? Does that still happen? Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. It was just a little too quiet. Attempt to connect non-existent signal. Door. Parent. Parent is get parent. It has to be in ready. Parent ready connect. Calls connect parent. Honorable South. Sit. I don't understand. Connect parent in object of type. Okay, so connect parent. An object type no TV. Attempts to connect the non-existent signal. Interactable. Incallable. This is typed right? Interacted. It was working before, but now that I've made it a scene, it won't. Oh! I figured it out. This script was before. See, I need to say it out loud. That's what I like about streaming this shit, because it helps me saying it out loud like this and trying to describe it to the audience. Helps me understand what is going on. So, this script used to be in a child of the seat. Right? But now it is attached to the seat itself, to the root node of the seat. So when I'm like, hey, get the parent of this is no longer the seat. The parent is the environment. The environment doesn't have that signal. So I don't need parent anymore. I think I can just do this. And it should be fine. I've never done this before. Yeah. All right. It's this thing, you know? You think you can't understand a thing. No matter what you do. But you can. You can learn. Oh, sweet. I passed 2.2k followers on Blue Sky. The dying website. I'm growing. I'm growing on a dying website. Growing on a dying Earth. Okay, so that is done. Let's finish. Let's finish this video.
As I said, I'll be copy pasting the code so that I can keep the video short, but I'll explain what everything does. As a general rule of thumb, it's best to call down and signal up in Godot, and we're going to be instantiating this component on our lich, making it our parent, and that parent may need to respond to some behavior from our component. So for that, we have these three signals. I'll explain the overrides in just a bit, but the last signal here, sig destroyed, is used to let the parent know that the health is at 0. We'll have a few private backing variables. I realize they aren't really private, but as a rule I proceed variables.
Okay. So a signal gets defined. A signal gets connected. What else? What else does connect have? Connect. This is just the whole object thing. Okay. Connect signal by name to a callable. Signal can only be connected once to the same callable. If the signal is already connected, this method returns invalid. To prevent this use is connected to check for connected. Okay. If the callables, hey defines, how are you today? If the callables object is free, the connection will be lost. In GD script, it's generally recommended to connect signals with signal.connect instead. That's what I did, isn't it? Button pressed. Connects the signal to the specified callable. God, I don't even know what that is. Alright, but a signal is defined. Yeah. You just create it. You say signal. A signal is connected. Which is to say, when this signal is emitted, call this function. And a signal is emitted by another function. So in this case, what the seat component does is it takes the information from the seat, right, which is whatever type of seat it is, a normal seat, car seat, or bed. We'll start with normal seat. The other ones are a little advanced. I may have, for this prototype, I may have to go to car seat. We go to, we do that. We take the information that exists, and we emit another signal. Signal is like sat or whatever. And then somewhere else, the player controller is listening for that signal. It's being connected. When it hears that signal arrive, the is sat, it does whatever it needs to do. And I only need to do that once. I don't need to do a stand up thing here, because only the player character needs to know whether he is actually sitting. And the player character will already have the leave marker. So the chair, right? It's a model. Okay. Whatever. Actually, let's lift it up here. Is what we need to do. Can't quite get it to 0, but that's fine. You know how many nightstands in Skyrim are just closets that are clipped through the floor? But then in the environment, it'll probably be, if I save this, it'll probably be, no, still good. Okay. That's fine. Oh, right. And no, still not. All right. So there's markers here, right? Sit marker. That's basically the coordinates of where the player controller needs to go. And I wonder. Hold on. Oh my god. My brain thinks of too many things at the same time. Not sure if this is necessary. Can just move camera. Okay, player hits the sit button on the chair. The player is standing here, probably looking at it, right? The player loses all control. The player controller moves to this location, turns to face this marker. And then that's it. The player still has camera control at that point. Then when the player decides to get up, they already have the information for where the character controller needs to go. That's this spot right here. So signal-wise, the seat doesn't need to know more than that. What's the problem? The root node of a scene is recommended not be transformed, since instances of the scene will usually override this. Reset the transform and reload the scene to remove this warning. What did I do? I moved you for some reason. Oh, that's the marker. Alright, okay. That makes sense. Never mind. Man, I feel like I'm so close to figuring out just the basics of how to properly give the player character controller what it needs. Where player character? Okay, so yeah. So like to test we can do something like print the signal was received. Here's the vars for the markers. They are vector 3s. No. No. That wouldn't be here. That wouldn't be here, right? That would be in... okay. It would be like signal received call sit. Sit normal. No, call sit. Because I have the type. See, I have funk go to sleep. That's super simple, actually. Oh my god, this is so strange. I'm starting to see it. I haven't tested it yet, but it's so like, it feels so empowering to like start to figure out how it works. Funk. Sit. Bitch. Void. Pass. Be like if okay, we will have taken okay, so we will have taken the vars from the signal and put them in local to this script vars. All right, and be like if seat type equals. I could not even do. I could do a match case. Match seat type. I think I could do that. Like Like, okay, whatever. Normal. Do all of this shit. I need music again. I'm sorry. Do all this shit. No, rewrite most of this. Rewrite most of this. But if it's normal, do the sitting. If it's car, do the sitting, but like extra stuff. And then, okay. If it's bed, then we do, when we do, go to sleep. Oh, and then I guess here we do the standing up if state is sitting. And we will have yeah. Received. Call sit. Put all the vars into the local vars and call sit. Starting to make sounds. I don't know if we're gonna actually have this working tonight, but I feel like I'm starting to grasp it a little, you know? I don't need you anymore. Fine. Event bus composition. I wanted to watch one more actually, and this was on my. This is in the playlist. Hey, look, it's me. Nobody's watching right now on YouTube. Hold on, there might be some secret stuff in here. I thought I had you saved. Oh, of course, that's not in my channel. Message bus.
Boom, we're done. In my FPS UI interaction video, we connected two separate scripts using the global reference technique. That's where we use a global script autoload that contains variable references of scripts and objects. We create a global variable, we set that variable equal to our script or object, boom, we're done, it works. But what if you want to reduce dependency issues and make use of signals instead? Then we need what's called a message bus, a script that holds global signals and or functions that can connect to unrelated scripts. A message bus can make it so two different scripts can communicate with one another but don't actually know or care if the other exists. This reduces dependency and makes it easier to connect other scripts to the same signals. First, we create a new autoload script called message bus and make sure global variable is enabled. This script will hold signals that we can access globally in any other script. For our FPS interaction system, we have a signal for when we look at an interactable object and when we look away. In our UI context component from the last video, we assigned a global reference to the script. With our message bus, we instead connect our global signals to their bus. We global reference to the script. With our message bus, we instead connect our global signals to their respective functions. In our case, we want to update our UI interaction text and icon when we look at an interactable object, and reset it when we look away. So we connect those two signals to our update and reset functions. A quick note here as well, I've revamped the update functions into one update function to simplify the code. It's just one update function that updates.
Message bus signal. Seat sat. Wait, and seat sat. Seat sat with type sit, leave, and look. Alright. Then we have the enum, normal seat, car seat, bed. We export it. And then we have the markers. Which I don't know if we need to export actually. I think we can do var is $sign sit marker on ready. Gotcha. Not export, but on ready. On ready. On ready is leave marker. Need to always call those the same. But they're already in the scene, so that's fine. Chair. Okay. On sit, we emit. No. What do we call this? Emit signal interactive. Message buzz. There we go. Message bus dot seat sat body usable type. Nope, sorry. Emit. Oh my god. Message bus dot seat sat dot emit with my arcs, which are body usable. Nope, I'm not gonna call them body usable anymore. I'm gonna call them seat type. Seat type. Seat type. Seat type. Type. Sit marker. Look. Shit. Look marker and leave marker. Yeah, what do I the transform position? Leave marker dot position. Yes. All right. Is this correct? Set, leave, look. Set, leave, look. Set, look, leave. Okay. Look, leave. They need to be in the same order. Okay. You I don't need. You are good. That emits seat sat with these things. So, in can I close you? Close. Also close. Also close. Also close. Also close. Okay, so that should make seat component done. Look marker. Where's the leave marker? Leave marker. You need to be here. For some reason, snapping is on? Weird. Okay. So that has emitted. Now I need to connect. There was another one that I liked better. Connect, focus, callable. Message bus dot connect. Right. Seat sat callable self sit. How do I take the message bus dot seat set connect set. No. Connect. Sorry. So then here is like if state is not sitting. If state is not sitting, then I do that. Sit has type sit look leave. Sit seat type sit marker look marker leave marker sit mark need to call them something else. Set local parse. Type set point look point leave point. Type sit look leave. Type sit look leave in my member variables. That's what it's called. Seat information. Bar seat type. Bar look. Sorry. Sit marker. Bar look marker. Bar leave marker. Vector 3. Okay, so seat type is type sit point is sit marker. Nope, sit marker is sit point. Sit marker is sit point. Look marker is look point. Leave marker is leave point. Print the signal was received. Seat type is type. Yeah, you're good. Godot print variables. Okay, whatever. Print seed type. Print set marker. Print multiple variables. Just use a comma. Set marker. Print. Hold on. Seat type. Set marker. Marker. Leaf marker. C type 0. Sit marker. Look marker. Leave marker. Are those coordinates correct? Also, what's the debugger crying about? Signal seat sat is already connected to given callable character in that object. Where? Is it because I did it twice? Yeah. But the print doesn't work. Why not? I really only need to save, well, now that I'm thinking about it, I really only need to save the leave marker. That's the only thing that needs to be remembered. Because everything else I only use within this function. I can get rid of the rest. So, okay. I hit R. Alright? I send the interacted signal. I hit R. Function use body. Which could probably be renamed to sit. Or maybe not. Who cares? Still works. If interact cast result and interact cast result signal interaction. Maybe if interact cast result and interact cast result has used signal interacted, interact cast result emit signal interacted. But there's something to interact on.
Assurance. Today is the day.
Hey, Red. Ah, shit. Or maybe not. It still works. You have to be in here. Sorry, both of you have to be in here. Because this only should work if there's interaction. But I don't know if that's it. I don't know if that's causing the problem. It's not. Red! I really like that thing you posted, where you put the 2D Star Trek characters inside 3D environments. Because it's something I'm maybe potentially considering doing for the game also. Including having some lighting definition. Because I know you can just give 2D sprites normal maps and do crazy shit with them. But I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, because like part of me is like, that's easy. And it's a cool style. But I definitely need the player character's arms to be 3D. And I don't know if I can come up with a style that works for the player character's arms to be in 3D and the rest of the characters to be in 2D. But even if I do, it feels like a disconnect between the player character and the NPCs. So I'm still thinking about it. But that leaves me to a thought. If NPCs are 2D and player character arms are 3D, could still use a shader or some shit to give the arms a similar style and also fuck with the animation frame rate or something. Yeah, maybe there's something I could do, you know? Maybe like that would actually be that wouldn't work for everything, because like if you're on the steering wheel, that'll be animated smoothly. But I could use, you know, like a very low frame rate for some things to make it still look 2D. See, I'm getting all these ideas. Connects this signal to a specified callable. Optional flag symbols we add to configure the connector's behavior. See object connect flex constant. You can provide additional arguments to the connected callable by using callable bind. A signal can only be connected once to the same callable. If the signal is already connected, the method returns invalid parameter and generates an error unless the signal is connected with object connect reference content. To prevent this, use this connected first. Button press connect. use body. If event action is pressed use body, do use body. Right? Okay. Where do we do interact cast? In physics process. If starting to get just a little tired. If interact cast results has user signal interacted, emits the signal interacted. Right, that's if it has the interaction component on it. That's all. We've connected interacted to the seat. The seat has interacted. When it hears interacted emitted from from player one character. It emits the signal interacted. And it connects the seat set and all set. But it doesn't do that for some reason. What if we use this one instead? B1 character. Connect. Seat set. Callable self. But then there's flags. Do we have anything else? Callable is a built-in variant type that represents a function. You can either be a method within an object instance or a custom call used for different purposes. Stored in variables and passed to other functions is most commonly used for signal callbacks. Funcprint args. Callable self args. yeah, this is fine, right? Because I could just call sit. Still, the same thing. Because it is essentially the same thing. I'm so close to having this figured out. I hit R. R. The R button calls use body. Use body looks at the interact cast results and makes sure it exists and that it has the interacted signal. If it does, it emits the signal interacted. That then connects to the seat said SAT signal. Starting to get annoying. But then connects to the seat set signal. Interact cast results. Emit signal interactive. State signal. Message bus. Seat set. Connect. Sit. Yeah. But it doesn't emit it. The seat component emits it. Once it is interacted with. Misunderstanding how this works. What if I do this? What if I say if interact cast result and interact cast result as user signal seat set. Connect set. Nope. Oh, that's a typo. That's a typo. Still don't do it. Because I am not calling sit. No, this still doesn't make sense. Func, I define sit params. This makes no sense, and I don't like this. But I'm gonna see if it works, just to help me understand a little bit better what is going on. Var seat type, var sit marker 3, var look marker. Seat type is type. Sit marker is sit point. Look marker is look point, and leave marker is leave point. Okay, this works. I'm not happy with it. Because now what I'm doing is, if if the thing I'm looking at has the seat set signal. Why can't I just emit the signal? Like here, I do focus and unfocus from here. So why can't I just emit the signal seat sat from here? Which does what? How do I get I don't need to do that, right? I can go to like interact cast result. Do I need signals at all for this? If I don't need signals at all for this, then I haven't wasted any time. I just have learned a lot. Interact cast result has user signal seat set. Sudo check what class a node is. Yeah. So and interact cast result is seat component. Seat type equals interact cast result dot seat type. Ah! Seat type. Sit marker equals interact cast result dot sit marker dot position. Look marker equals interact cast result dot look marker dot position. Leave marker equals interact cast result dot leave marker dot position. Then I don't need you guys. And I don't think I need... If seat type equals normal seat. Seat type dot normal seat, I think. Set normal. Yeah, how do I do that? Ready var. String is close to figuring this out. Set normal. You are now sitting on a that might be because it's like all caps. Dictionary. Bar. Seat names. Seat types. Um, bar seat. And seat. Bed. All right, so that's a dictionary. Doesn't matter because I don't. Yes, I do. Okay, seat type is. I know. I'm just confused about everything. Seat types. All right. So if var the seat type is seat. No. No, I still don't know what I'm doing. Go use enums and another class. I am lost once more. Slowly inching my way to something potentially called progress. Oh. Sudo enum global. Like I just need to know the seat type. That's all I need to know. So the seat type is this. How does door component do this? Door type is door type physics. If seat type equals seat component dot seat type dot normal seat. Indent. Nope. Dictionary and int. Invalid operands. C type equals. Invalid operands. Dictionary and int and operator. Yeah, okay, I get it. One thinks it's a dictionary and the other thinks it's an int. Uh-oh. Are you unable to write the file? Oh, because it's running. Oh, C type is dictionary. Okay. Yeah, I figured. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. And this can just be seed component. Yeah, that's fine, because I'm an idiot. Oh! Wow. You now are sitting on a normal seat, bro. Okay. Now here we can do if seat type equals seat component dot seat type dot car seat. We do sit car, which is a thing that we did. No. Func sit car void pass. Okay. If state is sitting. Yeah. If else that's if state is, I think we could just do else if. Else if state equals, sorry, else if state is sitting, stand up, yeah. funk, stand up. Void. Yes. If normal, stand up, else, car, stand up. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, no, this makes sense. Okay, if interact gets result, blah blah. If we did interacted, then if the state is sitting, sit normal, else sit car. Now, why do we have sit normal and sit car as separate? Right now, that just makes sense to me. I think I had the idea that the stand up needs to be a little needs to be under everything else. Stand up. There's probably like a wake up funk also. Those should be under everything else. I think the thing is, I might separate them. I might unite them. Right now, this makes sense to me. Okay, let's just go over everything because it's working right now as it should. A super basic thing that I did a whole turnaround, and now here we are. But if we hit the sit button on the seat, you get the message you are now sitting on a normal seat. Which means basically, yeah. What if we sit? What if we hit R on anything else? Then that's not right. Well, shit. And if we hit click.
That ain't right!
That's also wrong. No, that's, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm glad I still tested this because I was gonna wrap up. I think the seat scene does not need an interaction component. And we do still need seat set. Let's see if we can make this work. Export bar context seat. All right. On ready. We don't need to connect to anything. Don't need a parent. Okay, so you're still working, but instead of interact on the sit, as you signal sat seat sat. Connect seat sat. On sit. Now you don't have interacted anymore, right? Message bus interaction. No. Signal seat sat dot emit. Right, and then P1 character. On use thingy, if it has signal seat set. Emit signal seat set. Yeah, I might be done in a few minutes if this works as it should. FYI. Yeah! Okay, the physics door is still completely broken. But that's okay. Okay. So we now have completely separated... Okay, the seat scene is like its own script, its own component, its own interactable. Which is fine. It takes a seat. Did I get the context? Yes, okay. It takes a seat type, because now if I do car seat, it's not gonna work, right? No. Let me just code that in real quick. Print. You are now sitting in a car seat. Yeah. Yeah, because I changed the seat type. And if it's bed, then it'll do nothing. Sick! Normal seat. Yeah. Okay. So, as a recap, if the result of the interaction cast is of the type seat component, then a bunch of variables are set, such as what type of seat it is, and the positions of all the markers as vector 3s. And then, if you hit the use body key, it'll make sure that it has the signal seat set. It will emit that signal, seat set, which does what? That I don't know. Yeah, because I don't need that. What happens if I close you? Oh. It'll emit the signal seat set, which does nothing. So I don't know what this does. Wait. Why do I need to even emit this signal? I can just say if interact cast result is seat component. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a signal seat set anywhere. Because I know what type it is. Alright, I know what type it is, and presumably I have the data. I mean, I know I do. P1 character sets it normal. That's like, let's see, type. Seat. Sit marker. Look marker. And leave marker. Yep. We have that information, which is good. I don't think it's correct, but that's something we'll fix. Get sit coordinates and make sure they're proper, local, whatever. Okay. So when we hit R, we already have all the information we need just from looking at the chair. We don't need no signals. Just from looking at the chair, we will have gotten the information of the chair. So that's like, hey, this is cool, actually. Hey, so this is cool. Just by looking, and I don't need all caps for that. Hey, so this is cool. Just by looking, that can be all caps. Emphasis. Looking at the chair, the seat, we have all of its info. The player character, player controller, seat. The player controller has all of its info. That we need, at least. Then, when we hit R, we double check that what we're looking at right now is a seat is something and is a seat component. And if we are sitting, we haven't coded that yet, but if we are not sitting and the seat type is a normal seat, we do normal sit. At which point we will set the state to sitting. We will have the or we will set the we already have, make sure coordinates are proper. That's what we need to do. Make sure coordinates make sense. Are local, normalized, whatever it's called. We disable the collider. We either shrink the player collider or move the camera. Either shrink the player collider, or rather just move the camera. Yeah, I don't know. Disable movement input and jumping and crouching. Which we can already have done if the state is sitting. If the state is sitting, this should have already happened outside in physics process or whatever. Lure between the player position to sit coordinates and look at look marker also, and then we're done. Maybe disable mouse look. Disable all other controls, including maybe disable mouse look while moving also. All right. Yeah. Reset all collider camera stuff to normal. Enable collider state to normal. Which should enable movement inputs automatically. And if not, it's a car stand up. Blah 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 blah. We need to make sure the car door is open. Huh. And we need to make sure the car door is open. If player is a child of the car seat. Car or car seat. We should be able to get that info easily. Where I just want to take a look at the states, because it's a state machine, right? State. I'm crouching, running, sitting. Enter normal state. Handle state. Moving. Any enter state function should only be called once when you want to enter that state, not every frame. Enter normal state. Crouch state, enter run state. Hey. Match state, normal crouching, no running. Let's debug shit. Right. Note. Note the way the rest of the script sets states is with individual functions. So think about that for a sec, bro. Okay. I think we're gonna wrap it up there for tonight. We have made shockingly little progress. And progress nonetheless. I figured out signals a little bit better. Sitting tutorials might not be necessary, but we'll see. We'll see. Prototype 1 to do. We don't have picking on. We don't have sitting. But what matters is when you click on a light, it turns on the light. But when you use the R button, it does nothing. When you click on a seat, it does nothing. But when you use the R button, it says you are now sitting on a seat and gives the coordinates of all the weird locations. Which is pretty cool. Next time, we have a million other things to do. The next time we'll do whatever. I'll probably try to finish the seats and learn a little bit more about signals and stuff. It's funny that I ended up not having to use signals at all for this. The original way that I thought of doing this was, in the end, I don't know if it's the right way, but it's the way that works for me. Since I have the object that I'm looking at all times, so I can just say, well, if that what helped is I realized I could make the seat a separate component, and that's kind of cool. I would like to put a label on it, actually. Add child node label 3D. Text. This is a seat component. Because I know that the way I'm doing the light switch now is probably not the right way to do it. Custom component. But I definitely feel like we've made some progress. Yeah, I'm happy. Okay. That's it for me tonight, kiddos. My children. My young ones. I'll be back on Tuesday for more, maybe. Depending on how I feel. Yeah? Please, please, please. Take good care of yourselves. Like, get a snack or something. Or some rest.
Thank you for enjoying the Bob stream. I love you all.